up, YouTube? You already know. Big Lou tapping back in. What it do with Big Lou? NFZR2. Baby. First time you're coming to the channel, it'd be highly appreciated if you first subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button if you like the video, and also share the video in the channel with your friends, family, folks, peoples, buddy, pals, amigos, and like us Puertorriqueños, Boricuas, Jibaritos, Potorros say, panas, vaya. And you do that by hitting that subscribe button, followed up by that bell notification, and then selecting all, and you'll be informed each and every time that a pre-recorded video like this one here is uploaded, a shorts or a live stream, and you'll get the notification. So with that being said, it's another one, right? As you can see from the thumbnail, another scam. Here we go. So for some reason, you know, this guy just can't be, this guy right here that wants to be commander-in-chief once again, just can't do things just, you know, because he's a good-hearted person or a good dude. Everything's got to be a photo op with this clown, right? But thing is that when he's doing these things, they're not even real. I mean, these photo shoots that end up becoming photo shoots, they're all staged events. So I'm gonna put the description of the video that I'm speaking of in the description, like I did the last video I did on him earlier today, the shameful, disgraceful video that I talked about at Ole Miss College. That description is in that video link is in the description as well. So if you don't want to take my word for it, which I don't expect you to, go hit that and you can go see it for yourself. So this guy, and by the way, he calls it NYFD, right? NYFD, what the heck is that? This dude's a lifelong New Yorker, born in Queens, right? Wannabe Manhattanite, right? I'm never even been to New York, and I know that it's FDNY because they're like the #1 fire department in the United States, just like it's NYPD, not PDNY, right? So that's how you distinguish the two, NYPD, FDNY. You know what I'm saying? But that's not, I mean, how that could be a surprise? On the day of 9/11, this carnival clown was bragging about now that the towers are down, that his building's the tallest. And, you know, that was on his mind after all these people were horribly killed on our soil in New York. He was just worried about the height of his building now. You know what I'm saying? This dude don't care about Americans. I mean, when you guys gonna wake up? And it's all about like it's a reality show. That's all it is for this dude, right? So back to the story, right? He goes to court, right? Comes back after court. Pizzas are delivered a long time before he gets there, and then when he gets there, somebody hands him some boxes, right? And then way he's moving with these boxes, I mean, there either is nothing in there, or if there is pizza in there, I mean, the cheese and everything's all over the place, right? Just like a total Nimrod, right? Like he's never handled pizza boxes before, which, he probably hasn't. You know, since the story of Christy Nome and her dog and all that, like it doesn't bother him because I don't even think he's ever owned a dog. You know, that was like foreign to his family, probably. You know, the dog had to be with, you know, gold collars and gold leashes. I mean, completely gold, right? Probably, right? Weirdo, right? So anyways, he gets there way late after the pizza gets there, and he's calling them, like I said, he's calling them NYFD, right? So Wednesdays, on his court days in New York, Manhattan courthouse, in front of Judge Juan Merchan, the Allen Bragg case, right? The Manhattan DA's case. Every Wednesday, they don't have court because Juan Merchan, the judge, is taking care of other cases, other things he has on his docket, right? Well, this clown keeps on talking about, oh, I gotta sit in the courtroom for 8-9 hours a day and blah blah blah, just whining and crying like he does so good, so well, right? That he says, well, I could be in Florida and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan and North Carolina and da da da, but he hadn't been going nowhere on the weekends or his days off. So finally, this Wednesday, he does a couple rallies in Wisconsin and Michigan, right? And while he's in Michigan, he brings up a lady uh, that she got a vegan restaurant, and he's not really into vegan, but he's gonna try it, and and she's complaining about how bad it is now with Biden. Everything's so expensive, but under Trump it was all cheap and all that. Come to find out, the lady didn't even have a restaurant till 2023. So she's just deliberately getting up there lying for this dude. I mean, what's wrong with you people? You guys are going to continue to do his will, the will of his own will, whatever he asks and or more like tells people to do, they're going to do it. But then when they get caught and they realize they're in a jam, and then they tell what happened. Now they're this, they're that, when they weren't criminals to start with. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the people working in the White House, the Justice Department, other people, whoever got caught up with him. You know what I'm saying? And all these little elector scams and all this insurrection shit and all this, him trying to overthrow the government back in 2021, right? This shit, this dude, everything has to be a staged event, fake shit, right? He goes to Michigan. He says that he's at a plant that's supposed to be a auto union workers. That come to find out they're not auto union workers. They're non-auto union workers, right? He goes to the bodega in Harlem. It looks like there's a bunch of people come out to see him, but it really was the young Republicans of New York out there. That's all it was. Then the other one was the dude, I can't think of his name right now, but he's an Indian American. He made it clear in one of his tweets, right? Or whatever social media it was, that he's an Indian American. He's not black. But then the other day he went out there to New York, posted up like he was a black dude, wore glasses, put a hat on. They talked about in the post that look at this African American laborer is out here, and then they talked to him and he act like he was black. Come to find out, it was the Indian gentleman that used to work for George Santos, right? So it's just a continuous thing over and over again with this guy. In Georgia, the Chick-fil-A, right? He's friends with one of the owners or the main owner of Chick-fil-A. So they set it up. He shows up late after everybody's already there waiting for him. Everything's set up, the stage, everything, right? They put all the black workers in the front to take his order and all that. And then him like a big old dummy, oh, chicken for everybody. When that's not the type of place Chick-fil-A is. It ain't a place that serves chicken like that. There's chicken sandwiches, right? Like a big old idiot, right? Because that's what he is. It's constant fake lies, BS out this dude's mouth, right? On top of all that, he says the lady that got killed in Michigan, Ruby, I think her name was Ruby, the Garcia family. I know it was Garcia family. He says he went and met with them, and he's talking about how good they described her to him, and this and that. Come to find out, he never, or anybody from his campaign or anything from him talked to anybody in the family. So he just continues the lies, like he cares, right? And also at the Chick-fil-A, you had the black girl that went up there. She's like, "Oh, Trump will with you no matter what the media says." And he says, "Come here, give me a hug." And she gives him a hug. He gives her a hug. And then she says, "Oh, I made it. Tell my mama I made it." Right? Come to find out, she works for Charlie Kirk. She's a Republican operative, right? MAGA. So, I mean, if all these people love him so much and all these different nationalities love him so much, what is the purpose of staging stuff? Why do you need to stage stuff? Why is it so important that you gotta have a photo op all the time? Why is it so important that somebody just can't tweet about you, but you got to say something about you? You got to respond like that. That's not presidential at all whatsoever. And that's not showing that you're some strong man, because we know you're not a strong man. We know you're not a strong man. You whine, complain, bitch constantly, every day. Every day. You know what I'm saying? About how unfair you've been treated. Poor Donnie girl. Whiny ass man child. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, dude. You ain't no alpha male. You're not no strong man. You know what I'm saying? Your mama messed up with you growing up, and it's ever since then, all your years growing up, it shows. You know what I'm saying? You're a weak individual, plain and simple, that happened to get blessed with a lot of money from his daddy when his daddy passed. And there was a lot of money too, because it went three different ways with you, your brother Robert, and your sister Mary, right? And then you cheated taxes on that money and all the other monies all along the way, right? Deflate everything to pay less taxes, and inflate everything to get bigger loans, right? It's funny how, I mean, come on, if this guy was such a good businessman, would he have to file bankruptcy 6-7 times? Would would all his properties be heavily financed still to this day? After owning some of these places for many years, he's still taking loans out on properties? Just think about it. How does somebody go lose a casino and go bankrupt and lose almost $1 billion in 1 year? But he's a good businessman. Everything he touches he's not Midas, and everything he touches don't turn gold. Everything he touches turns more like a septic tank full of shit. And he did the same damn thing when he was president of the United States. You're not president for 1 year. You're not president for 2 years. You're not president for 3 years. You're president for 4 years. And whatever happens is on your watch. Because if that would have been Biden as president, or Obama, or even Clinton when that happened, right? GOP would have been talking hella shit, right? Biden said when he came into office, before, when he was still campaigning and at the debates. I don't remember what magazine it was, but it was a nonpartisan magazine, I believe it was, or not, maybe not magazine, but some type of organization. They said with the Biden plan, everything will be up and running good for the United States. And guess what? That's exactly what's going on, right? The economy's number one out of all the G7, G8 countries, right? The GDP growth is the best. It's about double what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump never even breached 3% on the GDP growth, right? Only Donald Trump and Herbert Hoover lost more jobs than when they came in. You know what I'm saying? Even if you go and look before the coronavirus and the pandemic hit, Biden's numbers are way better than his. You know what I'm saying? Not only did Biden get all the jobs that were lost during the pandemic, he even made, on top of that, third, 12 and a half, 13 million more jobs. And the infrastructure bill, the Chips and Science Act, the IRA, all that's creating more jobs as time passes, more and more jobs are being created. Senator Bernie Sanders was just on with Brian Tyler Cohen just yesterday, and he said there's more jobs in Vermont than they can fill the jobs, right? And then we got to keep hearing this shit. He wants a massive deportation and this and that. Dude, if it wasn't for immigrants coming here and working, think about it, dummies. They're continuously putting into our economy and getting nothing back, really. They can't file for Social Security. You know what I'm saying? All these other things that us born citizens get, us citizens get. You know what I'm saying? All you people want to cry, oh, Mexicans, Venezuelans, and Salvadorians, Nicaraguans are taking our jobs. Yeah, right, taking our jobs. The jobs that people don't want to do, right? Like landscaping, picking produce, right? Washing cars, janitors at the mall, right? At the movie theater. Yeah, okay, really. Sounds good. But that's what these people do. They whine and complain about everything. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and tap on out on this one. This video was way longer than I wanted it to be. I'm trying to stick around the 7-8 minute mark, but it's kind of hard when you're dealing with with Sleepy Don, you know what I mean, with Don Snorleone, with Donald Dump, you know what I mean, with Dozo the Clown, you know what I mean. So that being said, Big Lou tapping out. And don't forget, I'm going to put the description of the video, the link to the video in the description here. So if you want to go watch the video, it has the timeline of the pizzas being delivered and all that. The name of the lady in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, with the vegan restaurant that lied and all that.